With tensions high and markets dumping, everyone's asking themselves, what do I do now? Well, you know the old saying, whenever the market is fearful, you should be greedy, and never a true word has been said, especially when you look at the altcoin market. A potential risk of losing $1 trillion market cap only, in my opinion, gives us the absolute desire to go out there and find some brilliant altcoin projects. I'm going to break down exactly what's going on in the market, why I am incredibly bullish on some very big altcoins, and more importantly, what I think the market's going to do this week. An action-packed video for you here on the Tuber Crypto channel. So hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get into it. So a pretty painful day in the markets. Obviously, the US and Iran-Israel tensions reached a boiling point today, and the US, in fact, actually striking targets in Iran. Saw massive capitulation in the market, doubled down on the fact that Iran trying to close many of the main oil shipping routes caused an even bigger push down in the market. Now, at the time of doing this video, Bitcoin's actually rallying back up. We saw lows of 98,200, Bitcoin back above 100K, which is good news. But what did we see, and what is worth noting? Well, Bitcoin was consolidating with a descending triangle pattern, repeatedly testing the support. The final rejection at the 200 EMA at 104,000 and horizontal resistance near that 103 did mark a pivot point for the price. The breakdown is now confirmed with BTC falling sharply below 100K. This, like I said, is on a slight reversal right now, and Bitcoin and RSI sitting around 29.52, indicating oversold conditions. This is where the rebound is coming very aggressively. And in fact, well, it's simply playing out the same as it always has done. 2013, 2017, 2021, Bitcoin performed poorly in June, but actually rebounded in July, heading towards cycle peaks. If this cycle repeats, Bitcoin looks like it could even retest that $200,000 mark very, very easily. And when you start to think about what's happening in the markets, massive amounts of capital surging into altcoins, as well as some of the more utility-based coins, Morpho Protocol hosting over $2 billion of potentially managed capital institutional interest in DeFi native structures. Golden Lake commands around 31% of the market segments, with Stakehouse Finance following around 27%. All of these are massive amounts of money on a very interesting newly published crypto report looking to get into the altcoin market. And this is fundamentally why I am still very, very bullish. We've seen lots of good news happening in the markets on a macro scale. Yes, I know the Israel-Iran thing is not good. We also know the Russia-Ukraine thing is not good as well. But for altcoin holders, well, our time just simply isn't here yet. Despite recent 40% surge in both Ethereum against Bitcoin, many altcoins are simply 50, 60, maybe even 70% down. But in my opinion, this is giving us the best opportunity to get into some of these markets. Take a look here at the actual altcoin overall market. You can see that we did break down among many different key levels, but we are seeing a slight rebound now. 1.05 trillion is where we currently sit on the overall altcoin market. So the question has to be, what's coming next? Is Ethereum going to bounce back into the range? Is Solana going to break back above these key levels? And XRP regaining $2 already. Could we see this back into this triangle very, very soon? Well, it's all going to depend on what happens with Big Daddy Bitcoin, which actually, like I said at the time of recording this video, is moving back to the upside. There are some key altcoins though to keep your eyes peeled on. Injective looking the summit starting June 26 and big announcements potentially from the team. Look out for Bearer Chain, now revenue generation allegedly coming in the next few weeks. Home, a very interesting DeFi app announcing details regarding season 2. Infinex, the big announcement expected June 24th around related to Infinex Connect. Synthetics and Blast, all with big news, and both, guess what, built on the Ethereum chain. These are just a few altcoins. My predictions though, XRP I still think has a lot of movement, and one other that I haven't talked about for a while is AVAX at $16 is looking incredibly bullish and actually is on a downward trend. So you may even get AVAX at a slightly bigger opportunity. So lots going on in the altcoin market, and there are absolutely some bargains out there. If you believe the market has more to give, well, altcoins are absolutely your opportunity. I'm not saying they're all going to go to the moon, but you certainly argue against what we've got could see the altcoins move. And don't forget, the path to alt season does generally see Bitcoin money flow moves from Bitcoin causing price surges. We've seen that. Institutional investment continues. We're looking for the move into Ethereum. We got rejected on the last one and then into large cap. So I still think we could be at least 4 weeks away, but I do believe the altcoin market is coming, and all of this global tension will eventually peter out, hopefully sooner rather than later. And I think that could pave the way for the pivot into altcoins. So for me, I'm stacking my bags, particularly on alts that I maybe got in a little bit too much, because right now there is some bargains. Even Bitcoin, some might say, is cheap right now. Let me know what you think of all of that in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching the video. Do check out the links, as always, in the description. They massively do support the channel. And come and join me over on TikTok. I'm building my community out there. I'd love you to be a part of it. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.